Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So I have a fun fall card for you today. And the stamp set is out of our new holiday catalog. And so the bundle that I used was called Painted Harvest. It is so beautiful. So I'm super excited to show you our card today, as well as the new holiday catalog. It launched September 1st. Yes, here it is. Super excited about all of the holiday projects and different stamp sets and images and embellishments. Just some really good stuff in there. So if you've made a purchase from me in the past year, you should have already received your catalog. If you haven't, just send me an email, let me know. Sometimes, who knows, the post office might enjoy the catalog too. Who knows? So just let me know and I'll send you another one. Also, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, just visit brandyscards.com and send me an email, and I would love to send you a catalog, answer any questions you have, and earn your business. So just let me know if you don't already have a catalog. Otherwise, I'm excited to show you the Painted Harvest suite. It is absolutely beautiful. So when you take a look through here, I'm just going to show you a couple of things. I love this Quilted Christmas. I think it is so pretty. You're going to see some fun projects with that. We have some really neat framelits this year that coordinate with our stamps. Of course, the Carols of Christmas is awesome and it makes beautiful card fronts. But we're looking for Painted Harvest. Let's see here. Oh, here is the Christmas sweaters. Now, how many of you have one of those Christmas sweaters? Some have an ugly Christmas sweater. Some have a Christmas sweater that you're like, oh, I don't know, but I can't get rid of it. It's got sentimental value. Anyway, I just thought this was an adorable stamp set. It's on page 22 of the holiday catalog. So if you, I'm going to have a video coming soon with the Christmas sweaters, and I'm super excited for you to see some of the fun things that I did with that. So let's just keep flipping through here. And I believe it's towards the back. Oh, did you see that on page 37? These beautiful foil snowflakes, by far one of my favorite embellishments out of the catalog. All right, oh, there it is right there, page 49. So this is the Painted Harvest bundle or stamp set, and it's coordinating punch. So this is the new leaf punch, which is adorable. And it does coordinate, as you can see, with the leaves here. So it's a two-step stamp, which it's brilliant because then you can have a lighter and then you can stamp your definition on the top. We're going to use the burlap ribbon, the 5/8 burlap ribbon today, and we're also going to use the copper trim. So if you've missed the copper trim in the catalog, it is beautiful, and I'm going to show that to you today as well. And not to mention the Painted Autumn Designer Series paper here at the bottom. It is a must-have. It's stunning in person. So I'm just really excited about this suite. And I'm going to be making lots of cards with it. However, I have to tell you, the card that you're going to see today is a card that I just made last night. And I loved it so much. It was fairly simple. And I loved it so much that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and film a video and share it with you today, because I think it would make the perfect card just to let somebody know that you're thankful for them, and maybe it's a card that you need to make fairly quickly, and I just thought that would do it perfectly. All right, let's take a look at this card. So you can see here the pretty sunflower. There's your burlap, your 5/8 burlap ribbon in the back. And then you've got the copper trim. This is Early Espresso, and then I have got Soft Sky or Pool Party would work behind here. Whisper White, then I've got the sunflower, the little leaves, and do you see this over here with the copper trim? Yes, I kind of like pulled it apart. It looks wiry, but it's actually pretty soft. I'm not sure why it looks kind of so wiry, but I really liked it. So I'll show you how I did that as well. All right, so you don't need a whole lot. You just need some ink pads, of course, your stamp set, so that you can make all those fun colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold a Whisper White piece of cardstock in half. And just so you know, if you're looking for the sizes and the dimensions for this card, you're not going to find it here in our video. But if you go over to brandyscards.com and you click on videos, it's going to show you all of my projects. Or you can type in the search bar Painted Harvest, so that would help this particular video come up, or maybe even put in there sunflower. So you're just looking for some keywords that are going to help you find this project. All right, so let's get started. I'm excited to show you this, just how beautiful this is. So basically what I've got here is it's a two-step stamp. So I've got two pieces to my sunflower. So you can stamp this in the yellow. I've got Daffodil Delight, and I also have pumpkin pie. So you can stamp this in yellow, Daffodil Delight, and then stamp it again on top with your pumpkin pie. Or you can stamp it like this. You can stamp it once in yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and do that here. See how pretty that is? And then I'm going to stamp this one in our pumpkin pie. And you know, I personally don't mind if it's not perfectly aligned up. I'm not sure that there is a perfect alignment. Some may say there is, but I just kind of like to just have fun with it and just kind of go with it. I just think it's absolutely beautiful the way that it is. It kind of reminds me of a sunshine. So that is one piece of, so that's stamping the big sunflower and then the small sunflower. But here, as you can see on this card, what I actually did is I stamped the big piece with both the Daffodil Delight and pumpkin pie, and I cut it out, and then I stamped the smaller one the exact same way, and I cut it out. And so now you can see it kind of gives it some definition, gives it some, you know, some pop. So I just thought that was so pretty. So that's what we're going to do today. So you can see here I've already stamped this one, but we're going to go ahead and do it again. We're going to stamp it just like that. All right. And then I'm going to take and ink it up in my pumpkin pie, that same stamp. And I'm just going to kind of turn it a little bit and stamp it again. There you go. Now it's not very pretty that way, is it? Well, that's because the top sunflower is supposed to be the definition, but we're going to stamp that top flower twice, and then we're going to cut it out and we're going to add it to the top, so it'll be perfectly fine. All right, so I'm going to have to clean this one because when I showed you how it worked earlier, I got some of the pumpkin pie on there, but I want to start out with Daffodil Delight. So I always kind of just make sure my stamp is clean. So let's start back out. We're going to stamp it first, ink it back up in pumpkin pie, and kind of turn it a little bit. Again, I like it to kind of be offset. I don't really want it to be perfect, you know. I don't want the Daffodil Delight to be perfectly covered by the pumpkin pie. I want it to kind of be offset. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the top piece and the bottom piece. Now, as you're doing this, let's say you want more yellow in your card. Well, then maybe you only stamp the bottom piece with the Daffodil Delight, and then you stamp the small one, you know, and then you're going to get more yellow here along the bottom. And you know what? I kind of agree with that now that I'm looking at it. I think I do like it with the big Daffodil Delight and the small pumpkin pie. So let's go ahead and cut that one out today. Now, when you're cutting it out, it's not really, it is jagged. It does take a couple of seconds, but it's not something to be too worried about. Quite honestly, I try not to get too fussy with it. You know, just every now and again, kind of get in one of those grooves so that it kind of, you know, you want it to feel like it's real and popping off your card. So just sort of move around it. And you know, you can see here that I am leaving white, kind of white space around it as well. And you can certainly cut closer if you want, but I really don't think it matters all that much. So I try not to get too caught up in the small stuff, right? All right, so I'm just kind of moving through. Got just a wee bit more to go. Kind of rounding some corners and getting in those grooves. I think that's kind of what makes it really kind of fun, is when you have those little spiky ones that come out. Okay. All right, so I think we are good there. So now we have the bottom of our sunflower. Now I actually already cut one of my top pieces, and I did that on purpose just to save a little bit of time today. So I have one that's already cut here that I can put on the top, and I just love the way that looks. All right, so I've got my scrap paper here. We've got a couple more things to do. We've got to stamp a couple leaves and then the inside. Now you could certainly stamp the inside of your sunflower directly onto your cardstock. but I liked the way that if you cut this piece here and you leave a little bit of white around it, I felt like it gave it an added dimension, a little bit more pop yet. So I'm going to go ahead and cut mine out. You certainly don't have to. I just thought it looked really nice. So I'm going to stamp it right there. Really pretty easy. I'm going to ink up my little inside, my little dots, and stick those right there on the inside. And then what I'm going to do is start on my leaves. So here's your two leaves. You've got the one that's got the full coverage, and then you have a leaf here that has got your definition. So let's go ahead and ink up our leaf and stamp it off. And then we're going to stamp it on just like that. We're going to ink up another one, stamp it off, and we're going to stamp it on. Okay, and then what I like to do is use the second leaf and use it at full strength. We don't want to stamp this one off. We want this one to give us that really pretty, oh, look at that really pretty definition. And these are so easy to line up, especially due to the fact that they are photopolymer. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Not only are they fun to line up, but we have a punch. So that's pretty cool too. So let's go ahead and punch out our leaf. And you can see I always like to have the punch facing me, the bottom of the punch facing me. That way I can line up my image in there and then just pop it out. One nice thing about this punch is sometimes when you have a punch builder where there's lots of pieces, you know, it kind of cuts other pieces of your cardstock. This really just focuses on the leaf, which is pretty nice. I really like that. So here we got punch number 2. There we go. Perfect. And now we just have to cut out our little circle here for the inside of our sunflower. And again, this is not something hard. It's just honestly kind of a circle, but I sort of kind of get in some of the little jagged places so that it looks more realistic. But I liked a bit of the white around it. Again, it just sort of gave it an added dimension. Okay, let me show you how I put this card together. I've got some Tombow glue here, or multi-purpose adhesive. I've got my soft sky, which is so pretty. We're going to glue that, center that right here on our early espresso. And then I've got my Whisper White piece. Now before I glue this down, I should stamp it right, because if I stamp it, well then I screw up. Well then I can flip it over and I have 2 chances. But if I don't, then I've only got the 1. So I'm thankful for you. It's gonna go right here. Perfect. I just thought it was so pretty. And that is such a pretty stamp. Now I'm gonna put just a wee bit of glue here on the back. Not much, just a wee bit. And then I'm gonna center it here inside the soft sky. Perfect. Now I've got some Stampin' Dimensionals. You know, we'll go ahead and just, since we're working on this card, let's not take the backs off yet because we're not actually ready to stick it down, but we'll just kind of prepare it and have it ready to go. Now what I've got here is my burlap ribbon. I've taken my tear and stick tape. This stuff is amazing. I love it. I love the fact that you can just like tear it like right off with your fingers. In the past we had some sticky strip, which is great too, but I always used to like have those little strips. When I would pull them apart, they'd be like stuck to me everywhere. So this is really nice. I like this tape a lot just because I just feel like I can work with it pretty good. So I'm going to pull the backing off. I did stick it on there ahead of time just to save a bit of time. And I'm going to stick this right here in the center of my card. That's kind of where I want it today. And I'm going to sort of rough up these little edges. And in order to do that, you just sometimes just have to cut the string that's kind of holding it there. You know, the other direction. It's just sort of kind of binding it together there. So sometimes I just kind of like to rough that up and want it to be kind of a little bit of loose and jagged and that sort of thing. Now, when you play with your string like that, just be really careful that you don't go and like blow it and then it gets into your stamp pads, because you don't want that. Then it'll get on your stamps and stuff, and it's not the ideal situation. Might make you a bit cranky. So here is the copper trim. Take a look at this copper trim. It is so pretty and just so like, I don't know, it's like ornately wound, and oh, it's just so pretty. Very, very pretty. I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm not going to do a bow here, but rather a knot. And I'm going to hold that down and just pull that tight. Now I'm going to pull it really tight, and then I'm going to cut off here on each side. And this is what I had fun doing, is just coming in here and separating it. That's how I kind of got that, where it kind of looked wiry and a little rustic, I guess. It was just really super, super fun, super cute. See that there? Oh, I love it. And it just adds some personality. So let's go ahead and pull our Stampin' Dimensionals off of our rectangle, and we're gonna add that to our card. So we've got those, we'll get those off. And I'm gonna tuck my rectangle right under my copper trim. Perfect. Now we're gonna layer up our sunflower. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and put a bit of Tombow glue under the bottom sunflower because we don't want it too tall. I don't want to do too many Stampin' Dimensionals. So we're just going to layer that up. What I have found easiest is if you put the Tombow glue under the sunflower in the middle, well then that kind of leaves you a little bit of room to lift to add these leaves. So I'm just putting Stampin' Dimensionals because I thought it would be easier. And I don't want these leaves to be glued flat. And I'm not really looking to use a Stampin' Dimensional either. I kind of want them just sort of free. So as you can see here, I've lifted up a little bit of my sunflower, and now with the mini glue dot, I have an opportunity to kind of have perfect placement. So here's my other leaf, and we're gonna kind of lift it up under here, stick it down, and now we're gonna add a Stampin' Dimensional or two behind our top sunflower. And then I'm gonna offset it here on the top. And you know, I just kind of turn it until I like how it matches up. You know, every single one of them look different, every card. I tell you, it always looks different, but that's the beauty of it. And so here's the center. Again, you could stamp the center of your sunflower directly onto your card, but I liked a little bit of white cut out, and then it took the pressure off of having to center it perfectly, right? So there you go. This is my I'm Thankful for You sunflower card from the Painted Harvest stamp set. I absolutely love this stamp set. It is beautiful, and I think it just makes some just gorgeous fall cards. So I hope that you enjoyed this project today. If you haven't already received your catalog, let me know. I'll get you one in the mail right away. If you have any questions, let me know, and feel free to email me some of your projects. I'd love to see what you're creating right now for the holidays, and of course, if you're using the Painted Harvest stamp set, I'd love to see what you're doing with it. So I appreciate you stopping by Brandy's Cards, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye.